So now, Catherine Schroeder's study. This is Catherine. She could not be here today, but she helped us prepare the presentation. She's now in Kingston, Ontario, and she continues to work with the family in the study. She is Skyping into the dinner routine and providing support from an iPad. And guess what, guys? It's working. And I'll show you some of her most recent data. So Catherine Schroeder, Joseph, that's me, and Ishu Ishiyama is our clinical supervisor. Ishu Ishiyama is a counseling psychologist with expertise in cross-cultural counseling, so we're very, very grateful to have him as a member of our team. And Deborah Olson is our qualitative researcher. And Daisy Wang, if you know, how many here know Daisy? She was our translator. So we had help from many, many beings, and we were very grateful to all of them. And so this is Mia, and this is a anime, which actually, when you see Mia, you'll see it's quite similar. She's a very charming and cute girl. 4 to 5 years old with autism. When we met her, now she turned 5 since the study started. She's bright and energetic, affectionate, can speak, but tends to use one-word phrases. Particularly when we started, she was very reticent to use her language skills. Family is from Taiwan. Mother's a homemaker, father's an engineer. Their primary language at home is Mandarin. The child, though, does not speak Mandarin. She speaks English when she does speak. Problem behaviors were quite vast. Noncompliance, defiance, elopement, low-intensity physical aggression, self-injurious behavior, and other behavior as well. And the routines that the family chose were dinner with family and cooperative play with older brother. And the family chose to play table games. They would learn to play table games and follow the rules together and not fight, which is what they were doing previous. So again, I'll give you a taste of the strategies, but not go over all of them. So the mother, in terms of the dinner routine, I'm just going to focus on the dinner routine now. The mother learned to prepare age-appropriate meal sizes. She tended to want to give her a big bowl of food because Chinese moms really want the child to be, have a good hearty meal. So she would create this huge bowl of food, which was probably appropriate for me, but not for a 5-year-old. Used visual supports, visual schedules, visual contingency maps, take a break card, used a safety signal too. One more bite and then you can stop. And then in terms of teaching strategies, the huge teaching strategy in this study was Catherine intervened first on the dinner routine. There was food refusal behavior in this study. We had to use the knowledge base of food refusal, so we implemented what we call family-centered positive behavior support for food refusal behavior. And Catherine implemented this intervention, helping the child first learn to eat food at a table. She was very resistant to lots of foods. She had issues with texture, issues with other things, issues with chewing. And so we had to be very careful and teach her very carefully, very systematically to come to the table to eat food. And we began with very small pieces of food, tiny little bits, and gradually expanded size and variety. And once the child got to a certain point of being able to eat a child-sized portion of a variety of foods that were healthy from the family's point of view, we then transferred stimulus control to the parent and did training in that way. And the parent learned to use errorless teaching strategies to support her in the routine. In terms of consequences strategies, parents learn to give praise and tangible rewards contingent on desired behavior, like sitting in the chair, eating food served, eating at a faster pace. For major problem behavior, they learn to block harmful behaviors, minimize attention, wait for Mia to calm down, and then redirect her back to task. Basically not give in to escape-motivated problem behavior during the meals. In terms of contextual fit, there were issues of equity between the siblings, so we had some behavior supports there, so that the brother was feeling like he was getting the same positive treatment as the child, the same amount of attention. The parents tended to have conflict, mainly around child raising issues, and so we taught the parents problem-solving skills to minimize conflict. And also, in terms of a strength that we built on the parents' value of being loving and affectionate with their children. They were very loving, very affectionate, and we just wanted to build on that strength and incorporate it into the PBS plan. In terms of cultural fit issues, we worked to ensure that the plan supported the parents' core cultural values of nurturing happiness, politeness, and respect. So those were themes in our work, that everyone was behaving in ways that were were polite and respect, and that promoted the family's happiness. We provided a translator to translate documents for the mother into Mandarin, so behavior support plans, implementation checklists were actually translated into Mandarin by Daisy. And Daisy also actually went with Catherine to some sessions and did the translation, simultaneous translation during assessment activities and some planned design activities. We began the intervention with the father, interestingly enough, because the father had no issue with doing an escape extinction procedure. He would be able to withstand the crying and all the things the girl would do to try and get the parents to give in and back off, which is the way how she had created life up to that point in the family life. The mother, because of her cultural value, the Chinese cultural value of a and this is what she taught me, if a Chinese mother does not submit to her child's crying, she's not being a good mother because I'm not meeting her need. And also, I might be putting a tear in our relationship. She might not love me because I'm not meeting her need. And that was a very strong cultural view, which we knew that we're not going to change right away. We're not going to be able to moderate in a way that would allow her to be effective with her daughter as well. But the father was fine, so the father started. We also refrained from putting the mother, the mother in a position of having to use an escape extinction procedure before she was intellectually and emotionally ready, and we worked with her in collaboration with Ishu Ishiyama, our cultural advisor, who has training in cross-cultural counseling, to help her become psychologically and emotionally ready. Did that make sense? Okay. So that was the big cultural piece. And here's the data. What you see here is a very low, this is a percentage of intervals of problem behavior, percentage of steps completed. This is dinner routine, this is the story, this is the a play together routine. And you can see very low steps completed, high levels of problem behavior. A little bit different here, more variability, but not getting much better in terms of steps completed in problem behavior. A little bit better, but not at a level that would be socially valid. Then this is the intensive training by Catherine, 15 sessions before transferring stimulus control to the mother. You can see a huge leap in steps completed in dinner, a big drop in problem behavior, but it began to deteriorate as we increased the criteria. See these numbers? 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is increased criteria for what she was required to do, and then we had some regression, so we had to work through that. And finally, she was able to get to a high level of performance, very low problem behaviors in dinner. And then for steps completed, you can see a big leap here during intervention and a big drop in problem behavior. And we're now in the maintenance phase. We've gathered some data points, but we haven't graphed it yet. I'm going to quickly show you what this looks like, and we might have to close a little bit after that. But I think it's valuable to see what it looked like before and after. So here we go. This is Mia in baseline for dinner routine.
Wash your hands. Come on. Drop your feet. Drop your feet. Hey, wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Mommy, what's mine?
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Hey. Hey, sir. Wash your hands. Who go first? Wash your hands.
Baby, come on. I already ate some of it.
Come on.
Yummy. I said, look.
Yummy.
It's rice. Rice.
Yummy.
I said, carrots. I said, carrots.
Yeah, just sit down.
Yummy, yummy.
So what you can see here is not only the child resisting. She never washed her hands that occasion. I skipped some parts of that. And you can see the forbearance of the parents. They're being very loving, very patient. They're not getting angry, but the child isn't responding. She isn't eating. And the parents were very, very frightened because the child was only eating noodles and never coming to the table, never eating a lunch at the table, never eating breakfast at the table, and not eating outside of the home, so they were homebound. They couldn't go to places because the child wouldn't eat at a restaurant, wasn't eating at school. And now we're going to see the dinner routine after intervention. And this is actually...
I'm a ball. I'm a talking ball.
Guys, 3 more minutes. We have to eat a dinner,
I
okay?
know you.
Listen.
Thank
3
you.
more. Thank you.
Here you go. Oh, if you want.
There's an advance warning. And there we go.
Hey, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, because you're just going
Okay, guys, hands up. We go to downstairs, eat the dinner.
I'm going black with this.
Yeah, we go to wash your hands. Are you okay? Okay, come. Go downstairs. Wash our hands and eat the dinner. You want to eat?
Good girl. Good listening.
Yes. Okay. Wash the bubble away, okay?
Where's Bubble?
Yeah, the bubble over there. Nice job. Then you did a nice job. Okay. Hold on. Like that. Okay. Wash your hands. Good job.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Yeah.
I said it.
Good washing your hands. Good.
What is this?
Sit down. Wash your hands.
Where is mine? Where's mine?
And eat the dinner.
That one's mine.
I said, look, your dinner. After you finish, if you finish the dinner and the fruit, you can cut it.
Your prize is over
That's
there.
over there.
You see your prize?
Okay. Good job.
Yes.
Nice. Listen.
Mommy was something cut. Can I have because I want it there?
Good. You can take a break.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, where's it?
At the afternoon.
Yes.
And no breaks.
Thank you.
You can choose. Yes. Good girl. Good chewing. Good job.
We look dinner time rules. Sit nicely at the table.
Nice.
Okay, you can see, right? Yes, good.
Why did you do it to me and I can't do it to you? So I can
Is
do
that
it to you.
good? Yes.
And
You
you
can
have
take
to
a
listen
break.
to me. Because I listen to you.
Good girl. Good eating. Good chewing.
So that's Mia now. And
What was the length of time between the two films?
oh, I would say at least 4 or 5 months. Yeah, this was not an easy change. One doesn't change food refusal behavior of that extreme nature quickly. Also, we went to family's pace. We never pushed them, as we characteristically do. What's interesting is we went away for 2 or 3, for about a month and a half because of Christmas vacation, came back, and we thought there would be some deterioration. We're now in the maintenance phase. And actually the parents reported, no, everything's fine. It's actually better. She's eating more foods than we worked on, and they were the ones who taught it. And we didn't, we're a little skeptical because verbal report isn't as reliable as observation. But when we did the observation, we did the training, they're absolutely right. It's actually better now. And so in terms of treatment integrity, the father was a primary interventionist, 83.5% of intervals of accurate use, only 5% of intervals of inaccurate use. Contextual fit and cultural fit ratings, father rated it as 4.6 out of 5, mother 4.8 out of 5. And the comments were, our main goal was for Mia to sit and eat dinner. Now she does that, so our priority was met. That was a mother. And every interventionist would love to hear this. We will use all the strategies for the rest of our life. And we believe them. We really do. Parents also reported collateral effects, generalization to other meal routines and foods. She's now eating breakfast, lunch with the family, the foods that they want her to eat. She's now eating at school. There's no issue at school whatsoever. She's eating what's served at school. And they've been able to go to restaurants, in the other friends' homes, Chinese friends, which is always a thing you don't want to be careful with in this culture because there's issues of embarrassment and troubling others, and you don't want to do that. They'd rather keep the burden to themselves and keep it in hiding. But there's no issue now. They are quite beside themselves with gladness for that. Also, we see generalization of cooperative play skills. I didn't show you that one. But the children are now playing, the parents report the children are playing nicely all day. They're not fighting anymore at all. And our data supports that. We've collected some follow-up data, and it looks just fine. And also, they've begun to generalize PBS strategies to non-related routines. And the most important one, and this is really important, you know how the mother, because of her cultural training, as a mother, was reluctant to not submit to the child when she cries? She has informed me that she can now wash her daughter's hair and resist and stand strong in the midst of her crying because she knows it really isn't real. It's just about escaping. And she's able to now brush her hair, although the girl cries and tries to not let it happen. And again, she's able to maintain her equanimity and her sense of being a good mom. She knows that this is being a good mom, working through it. And as you can imagine, over time, this crying will diminish because it's no longer working. So she'll be able to wash her child's hair and comb her hair every day without this barrier to that type of developmental activity between a loving mother and her child. May I be brief about the qualitative findings? Is that okay?
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes, thank you. So key findings by Catherine were partnership with a translator. That was really important. The other thing was very important to developing a therapeutic alliance, cultivating the ingredients for a strong alliance. And in this family, it was trust, respect, hope, expressions of gratitude and compassion, open communication, and also maintaining parent-professional equality. One of the things Catherine really worked on is making sure that this was empowerment. I'm not better than you. I'm not the expert. You can become the expert too. We can become experts together. She really emphasized that from day one. And also understanding and accepting shared and divergent cultural perspectives, understanding the family's Taiwanese culture and how it changed over time, and also maintaining the intent to be culturally responsive throughout the effort, and identifying and rectifying errors and barriers. Catherine actually has a mindfulness practice as part of her personal activities, and she would work on maintaining a beginner's mind, always enter every situation fresh and ready to respond in whatever way was necessary, and that really helped her tremendously, and persevering to gain deeper levels of knowledge through that mindfulness. And finally, continually reflecting on, developing knowledge of, and taking steps toward cultural competence, maintaining the pure intent to be culturally responsive in every way possible, and being able to always self-reflect whether one is and whether one is moving in that direction, and posing and answering questions about being culturally responsive. And so thank you.